different YouTubers make videos for different reasons. You have some YouTubers that are chasing fame and glory, and their content is, sometimes over the top and meant to sort of elevate their experiences to unbelievable extents in order to chase views. Other YouTubers make videos to inform. The Kyrgyzstan is a series of videos. If you guys don't know, I'm really messing up the phrasing and the pronunciation of that word, but they do amazing informative videos meant to teach people about all sorts of things. The YouTubers that I follow, the people that I really admire, are the YouTubers that genuinely share the truth of their lives, their experiences. And a few of them have very interesting lifestyles from which to mold videos. So their truth is exciting enough to draw in viewers, to make their stories interesting and exciting enough to where the views come and they don't have to sacrifice the truth or pervert things into a form that is meant strictly to grow their channel. One of those YouTubers is Benjamin Rich. And this conversation is directed to you, Ben. If you do end up watching this, you are a very big YouTuber, very popular, but your popularity has grown from sharing the truth from your own experiences. For those of you that don't know Benjamin, his channel is Bald and Bankrupt.
Bald. Tiger.
And it's sort of apropos that I make this video while I am bald as well. So in some ways, I didn't shave my head specifically for this video. But it does seem like an interesting tribute to you, Ben. So if you do watch this, from one bald man to another. I found Benjamin's channel when he was in India. And the format of his videos was very simple and very engaging. He's a guy from the UK. He speaks an assortment of languages. And from his videos, I was jealous, actually, in the beginning, because he has a charisma that carries beyond the flair. Oftentimes, you don't necessarily have to have that outgoing of a personality or engaging of a personality if your talent lies behind the keyboard and you can edit all sorts of B-roll and music into exciting and interesting stories that kind of take you on a journey. Benjamin of Bald and Bankrupt didn't have to do that because his interactions, his personability with the people that he interacts with, oftentimes who are strangers when he bumps into them, and when he walks away from them, they are friends. And not only friends between the two of them, but friends with all of his viewers.
Батька.
А батька это ваш папа.
Да.
Понял. This is Kolya's father here.
Да.
Понятно, Коля.
А это мать.
Это ваш мат. I've left old Collier at the graveyard. No doubt to reminisce about his relatives, past times in the village, long before Chernobyl happened. All right.
He has a wonderful knack for creating stories out of everyday life. And that is honestly the most valuable type of video I think we have today, with a distrust of news and a distrust of politicians and a distrust of, facts. You can't go wrong with a personal interaction with a stranger that is unscripted and completely random. I found Bald and Bankrupt as he was going through India. It popped up in my recommended feeds, as it did for a lot of people that watch his videos. And the fact that he was so personable was reflected in the view count. His subscribers, when I found him, he was on an upward trajectory, and he is still on an upward trajectory to this day. And in fact, as I record this, the number of views on his channel are 250,345,224 views. And he has 1.97 million subscribers. Big time. JaYoe, good on you. He provides a benchmark that I strive for, because if he can share his journey and be as personable and interesting and real without needing all that flair and fluff with regards to editing, then maybe I can too someday. He actually motivates me. If you're watching, thank you. You motivate me. His reasons for doing his channel, I haven't talked with him personally, but I think align with mine. And so I was quite proud to watch his channel grow and encouraged to watch his success. He has traveled around different places. He has a fantastic series of videos where he goes into the Chernobyl area, and he meets people that never even moved out.
My driver's driven off and I'm here at the last, what was a village. This is all that remains of the village. And there, sitting outside the last inhabited house in the village, was Igor.
And he interviews these people. He talks with them. He has a personal relationship with a guy who actually stayed there, and his mom. And really beautiful stories, true stories. So when a video popped up on my channel that said my COVID experience, it raised some interest. And his video was different than his other videos that I've watched. Normally, he's walking around with a simple camera on a selfie stick, and he's walking around, he's talking to people, he's just living and sharing that. This video was no exception, but the format was different. He's sitting on a couch, he's slightly gaunt, and looks like he's lost a few pounds. And the video was much more serious.
Oh, have I got a story for you? It's been a hell month, and I want to give you just a quick update. This won't be a polished video. I caught coronavirus, COVID-19. My own fault, I think, really. Wasn't being as safe as I should have been. Most people have an oxygen level of about 98, 99 in their blood. What I subsequently found out was mine was down in the low 70s. I was dying basically at home and not realizing it.
So it was kind of an interesting, personable, watchable video from a guy who is about my age, who lives a life a lot like mine in many ways, not always. And it was engaging. And I watched this video, and in it, he talks about how he was in Serbia and he caught COVID virus, and it knocked the shit out of him. And he sat in this chair and he told the story of the last month, because he had been offline for almost a month. He had been off posting videos, and I'm sure there's a lot of people with a channel of 1.9 million, almost 2 million subscribers and so many views. There's a lot of people wondering where he was, so he wanted to tell the story. So he told the story, and it was quite harrowing. He caught COVID. He didn't think that it was such a big deal, like a lot of us do. And in doing so, he didn't go to the hospital right away. But by the time he did go to the hospital, it was serious.
The biggest mistake was that I didn't go to a doctor immediately. I sat in an apartment with it for 10 days. I was dying basically at home and not realising it. My organs were shutting down. I couldn't think straight, which was another reason why I didn't go to the hospital. My brain just wasn't thinking like a normal human would due to lack of oxygen.
But over the course of the next couple of weeks after he went to the hospital, he was elevated to the extent to where he had to go to the ICU.
I spent a week basically in intensive care in this hospital here in the suburbs of New Belgrade. I saw some terrible things in that intensive care unit. There were nurses and doctors all around and they were trying to resuscitate. I'd never seen a dead person before, definitely never seen anyone die before. But that person died because I was like, well, if that person can die, they weren't that old, then who knows about me. A few hours later, the person in the bed in front of me threw the blanket over the face. He was dead. He was a lot older.
He shared the truth of his experience unabashedly, honestly, and importantly, he shared his story. You shared your story if you're watching. And I appreciated that because a lot of us might not have had a personal relationship with anybody who had it and had it really take them down the rough road. It was like a really poignant, cohesive PSA to talk about the dangers and the realities of the COVID-19 virus. And I don't really share too many other people's videos very often, unless I find it very meaningful. I watch a lot of videos, but mostly talking about my videos. But this one I felt like I needed to share. So I shared it on my Facebook and I shared it on my community tab on my YouTube. I thought that it was important. You know, I don't want to speak for Ben, but I make videos to share my experience and inspire people. How can I inspire people? I show them a unique place, you know, so that they feel like they have a connection with that place. Maybe it'll inspire them to travel. Maybe it inspires them to realize that a certain type of people aren't so dangerous or scary. Maybe they realize a certain place that's been portrayed in a negative light is not so negative. Maybe you give somebody a certain point of view that helps enhance their own point of view, and they are better for it. And I receive messages all the time from people like that. And I'm sure if you're listening, Ben, you do too. Most people don't get a chance to live a life of travel and adventure. And most people don't even learn another language enough to communicate with other people in different lands. And you do. And you shared this experience so profound, so honest. And with everybody distrusting media and these different places, here was a real guy that was outside of the aged and immunocompromised and, typical COVID high mortality rate group that was experiencing something real and horrible. And at one point in time, I watched his video. I was like, I could see that you were afraid at a certain point that this virus could take your life. It could take you away from this earth. It could mute your messages. You couldn't make any more videos. Nobody else could see your travels. Nobody else could feel inspired to travel. And it almost got you. Wow, it was true. So I thought it was very important to share your story. Well, I didn't have it posted for more than a day, and somebody contacted me. A friend of mine named Ryan Mack. Ryan Mack is a really, really cool guy. He lives in Indonesia, in Jakarta. He has a YouTube channel. He's got almost 500,000 subscribers.
Musbul ketemu bule. Musbul ketemu bulbul. Dia sudah bisa makan.
Halo.
Oh my god.
Enak banget. Halo.
Gunakan peralatan yang kita bawa.
Oke, siap.
Oke. Dan bisa dapat air dari bawah juga?
Ada air terjun langsung bisa kita minum.
He's young. I think he's younger than me. He's from Scotland. He travels in the jungle. He's a hardcore YouTuber. He's a pretty interesting fella. He has a pet civet, which is like you guys know the term cat shit coffee? It's a coffee that comes out of a digestive tract of a civet cat. It ends up in their poop. So they'll eat the beans of the coffee, and then they'll somehow in their stomach, it processes the coffee, and it comes out as cat shit. It's referred to as cat shit coffee because it's harvested from the feces of this cat. And it's turned into coffee that people drink. Well, he actually has a pet civet, and he loves animals. Knows guys with pet tigers. There's some videos of him with a monkey. He's thinking about getting a monkey. But he's also in that kind of demographic where you would think, COVID-19 is nothing. It's not important. It's not a big deal. I don't necessarily fault people for feeling that way, because we live in such a weird polarized society where believing something is real takes a lot more effort, because there's a lot of pushback from people trying to, I don't even know what it is, politicize the reality that there is a virus out there that's new, that whether it kills you or not could affect you in the long term. Even if it doesn't really put you in the ICU, you can have lasting effects. And it doesn't matter how old you are. If you do get it, it could cause problems. And we don't even know the long-term effects. It's still a novel virus. We know a lot about the measles and the mumps and bubonic plague and all of these things because they've been around a long time. We've had time to study them. Well, this has been out less than a year, and it's done some real damage. And anyways, Ryan contacts me and said, thank you so much for posting that video. Because I know Benjamin, I know Bald and Bankrupt, I know this guy, I watched his videos. I relate to him. It's powerful to have a video from somebody that you relate to because you're going to listen to it more. You might not listen to the scientists, you might not listen to a president, you might not listen to different people, but you might listen to somebody on YouTube that you've been watching and that you relate to. And so Ben's video of what he went through with COVID-19 made him realize and understand that I need to take this a little bit more seriously. Now, he lives in Indonesia. Indonesia is, having their own problems with regards to the virus. Every country is trying to handle it in their own way, but there's a lot of people, me included, that's nervous about Indonesia. My cycle tour, I'm normally cycling around the world on a recumbent trike. I'm headed towards Indonesia, and I'm worried that the health system in Indonesia is not up to snuff in order to handle this pandemic. And I'm worried about myself there, but he was not. And he was like, not that he wasn't worried about it at all, but he wasn't in the demographic that would have the brunt of this, according to some of the data. But he watched Ben's video, and he said to himself, and he told me, he said, Matt, this could be bad, He actually left me a voice message and said, man, I thought I was immune from this disease, and watching Ben's video kind of hammered it home that I need to watch out.
I'll be honest, even at the very beginning of all this, I was like, shut up, it's just a flu, who cares? It's just been, that they're taking this shit too far. And, it turns out I was totally wrong. When people were like, right, let's close the gyms, I was like, come on, close the gyms, get a break, like back then. But now you realise how serious it is, especially, watching the Bald and Bankrupt guy, like, Jesus, he's a young, fit guy, and seeing him in shit state like that, I was like, wow. And then it did make me think, hey, you do need to be careful,
Now, I don't know what's going to happen to Ryan Mack in the future, but maybe in Jakarta, he approaches a situation socially where he could interact with somebody that has COVID And because he watched this video, it puts a little seed in his head that makes him second guess how he needs to behave just slightly enough to where he avoids an opportunity to infect himself. Because that's what these videos, that's what telling these stories, we all inherit a little bit. We learn a little bit about a place. We learn a little bit about a person. And we learn a little bit about COVID-19 in a personal way where it hopefully affects our personal behavior. So I was really, really happy with Ryan's message to me. I felt like if this guy contacted me, imagine all the other people who didn't, who watched his video and decided to adjust their behavior just slightly to provide an opportunity for them to be safe and not get this disease. Take it a little bit more seriously. So I felt like the potential was there to keep my friend Ryan out of the hospital or out of an ICU bed, or at worst case scenario, might have saved his life. And I think of all the other people out there who identified with Ben on a somewhat personal level, because YouTube does. It allows us to identify with people on a personal level, whether you're watching me on I get messages from people all over the world that say, thanks for showing me about China. Thanks for illuminating this place to me, or thanks for showing me this interesting trike and allowing me to bring that into my life and enjoy life a little bit better, or adjust my behavior a little bit better, a little bit differently. And so I felt like by sharing Ben's story told by his voice about a personal, it wasn't a reporter saying, there's, 1 million people with the disease today. And, it wasn't a statistic. It was a story. There's a saying where, one person's death is a tragedy. 1 million is a statistic. And we're in this zone where the numbers are so high that things are becoming statistical. And these personal stories are very, very important to share. And so I felt proud that I was able to share Ben's story in hopes that it would help other people. I felt like I have very rarely shared a video that I felt so positive about, so proud of being able to share it. I'm proud that I consider Ben a friend, whether he doesn't even know who I am. A lot of times people out there who think of themselves as friends with me, I don't know you, but I still actually do consider you a friend, because I know the community of JaYoe, and I know all of you watch my videos. The views tell me so. And I know the comments that you've left. And I know that I've had an impact on some of you. And so I felt like tangentially I was allowing other people to have an impact on their lives through the video that they were watching of Ben. So now, if you go and search for the video today, it's not up anymore. He pulled it down. It's privatized. It's not deleted. It's just private. You can set a video to unlisted or to private. Unlisted means you can still look at it if you have the link. But private means you can't watch a video unless he gives you permission through an email. It's like, why did it go to private? Because somebody on my Facebook said, his video isn't up anymore. I can't even watch it. Maybe somebody pressured him into deleting it. So I went and checked it. And then I checked on its community tab, where you can leave more personal messages like posts. And I saw a post there. He says, thanks to everybody who watched my COVID story. I have now deleted the video because it's time to move on from what was a grim month of my life and not be reminded about it constantly. Time to get positive, focus on getting healthy, and start planning the future. Also, to many nutters in the comment section asking me how much the government / Bill Gates / YouTube paid me to create a fake story because the virus, quote unquote, is fake. It sure felt real to me. Hope you all and your family stay safe and well. Oh, and don't worry about the eggplant emoji, bald. The eggplant emoji is kind of funny because he was talking about how his dick shrank a little bit.
The other thing is that, what else? Oh, my knob shrunk. I think my knob's actually shrunk during this. I've not had a twitch down there for a month. So no one tells you that, you see?
It was sharing honest story. It was an honest video. And in it, he's like, so honestly, he's like, yeah, one of the things that isn't in the news that apparently happened to me from going through this is that my junk shrank a little bit. And he laughed about it. It humanized the video. It was a true story. And he felt so pressured that he pulled the video down. Ben, out of all your videos, this might have been the most important video you ever made. I encourage you, please put that video back up. If you don't want to put it on your channel, I've already sort of thrown myself on the coals by being somewhat political in my last few months of videos. But I've done it because I think it's important. I think we all have a voice. And when you can offer a personal perspective, your story is your own. And I heard from a few people that you enhanced their understanding of this virus and might have negated a potential infection. You might have saved a life with that video. You know, you posted videos about interacting with people in Chernobyl. You posted videos of walking through market streets in India. You posted videos all around the world. And all of those videos are beautiful and amazing and positive stories. And people that watch those videos, they might gain an understanding of the world. They might feel a little bit energized, inspired to go out in the world and see for themselves. Or whether maybe they're bedridden. I've had a bunch of people who can't leave their house. They have all sorts of different issues and problems, and they can't. And so they use my videos as a way to experience the world. But this video deserves to be seen more. And I'm sorry, I know that you've become successful on all more than any of your other videos. And so I encourage you to please don't succumb to the pressure of trolls, ignorant people, and even the people who think that the virus is real, but not even is being overblown. That doesn't discount from your story. Your story carries a lot of weight. Let's just say that you got the flu, the common flu, and it knocked you on your ass. It almost took your life. Sharing a story about the flu might help other people take more attention of the flu. You are sharing a story that has value to lives. And by pulling it down, you succumb to public pressure and runs antithetical to what I believe was the original intent for you to make these videos. I mean, my friend Ryan, he didn't care about this virus as much as when he watched your video. For those of you watching the video for the first time, JaYoe means to add fuel. It's a Chinese word. It means add whatever you need to your life to succeed. Well, it can mean studying harder for a test. It can mean buying that plane ticket to go somewhere new. But it also is signifying adding experiences to your mind, adding perspective. And that video added a very, very important perspective. A perspective of a first-person account of somebody that got ravaged by this virus, who saw others dying, and who himself, although not the ideal demographic for the people getting hurt by this, did. And I hope that you're going to be okay in the future with regards to lung damage and different things. It can do a lot of different things to you. And I would like you to share more of these stories, because your recovery is very important too. What feelings do you have? How is this affecting your life forward? But by deleting that video, you delete the seed of the most important moment. If you make a video in a couple of days and you're traveling, but you're heaving, maybe you're feeling sore, you should be able to share that and people would understand why and understand the importance. And maybe you can make a beautiful, fun video, but also you can show how this might have affected your future life, or you become 100% well and your life is 100% normal, and then you can share that as well. But the importance of sharing that video, I believe, when I noticed that you took that video down, this is direct, I was really, listen, I'm not a judge and jury. Nobody is, even those trolls. I'm not condemning you. I understand the pressure. Since I've been making these videos, I've been getting inundated with anger, with conspiracy, with the worry that I'm going to lose a large contingent of the people that enjoyed my videos because I'm telling my truth. But I think this video is really important. I would hope that you would reinstate it and move it from private back to public, because we are not through this. We have a long road, and at this point in time, especially the last month or so, it's gone a certain distance to where instead of one death as a tragedy, it's a statistic now. And people are less likely to believe a statistic. And so they need stories like yours more now and in the next few months than ever before, because people are going to be like, all I hear is reporters talking about all these numbers. But it can't happen to me. I'm too young. I'm not immunocompromised. I don't even believe it exists. It does exist. It affected you personally. And your story has a potential to save people's lives. So I really hope that you watch this video. And I know it's long, but I hope, even if you don't want to share this, maybe could we talk? Maybe do a live stream. You could share your story on my channel. That way it's not on your channel. You don't have to but I do believe that you have a much larger audience than me, and that, not that you have a responsibility, but you kind of do. Because people like you, and they identify with you, and they trust you. And they don't trust a lot of other people that are telling them that this is serious, but you now know that it is serious. And maybe by sharing your story and keeping it public, you'll raise some awareness in people that might have gotten it. And maybe they wouldn't have had any problems, but maybe they would have given it to their grandparents and they would have died. And they would have been in the hospital. Maybe they would have gotten pneumonia. Maybe they would have gotten some horrible thing that happened to them. And so it's very, very important, I think, that you reinstate that video. So big fan. I love your videos, whatever you do. True to your heart. And don't let anybody else manipulate. Don't post it because of me. Hopefully you post it because maybe you come to a realization, but not for the sheer sake of me telling you to. Because your channel is yours. And it doesn't matter if you have 2 million subscribers or 0. Truth is truth. And if you let somebody scare you away from sharing it because they think you were paid or you were manipulated in some way and you weren't, then do this to them and tell them to go F themselves. Subscribers are not. It's not worth it. In my opinion, integrity is not worth subscribership. I'm realizing that. And you know what? My subscribers have been steadily increasing. So I still see growth in my channel. And I've been sort of sharing stuff that has been construed as being somewhat controversial. Whether you think a virus is hoax or not, I don't believe that's very controversial. So again, big fan. Thank you. Hope you listen to this. Keep on going. Hope you get well. And I hope that you don't have any ill effects in the future. So thank you. For those of you that are watching this for the first time, hey, my name's Matt. Thank you for watching. I normally am traveling around the world, but I'm doing these videos. Today is my daughter's birthday. July 14th. So wish her a happy birthday. And by wishing her a happy birthday, you let me know that you listened to the end of this video, which was very long and sort of goofy, but so thank you for joining me till the end. And I am working on a bunch of videos. I have a whole series of videos you guys have not seen of my travels on the trike. I'm trying to get back to the travel mode. I have a whole bunch of stuff. I have an opportunity also to go to the Three Gorges Dam. I have a few different projects in this area in Ningbo. I have a lot of interesting things coming. Although my channel seems somewhat stagnant, it's not. So I hope that you join my journey and you listen to my stories. And you don't necessarily have to agree with me. But I was talking with a friend of mine who watches my channel, and Tyler, thanks, buddy. He said, you know, even I don't agree with you all the time, I know what you say is from the heart. And it's not meant as a sensational thing. It's meant as an honest to goodness representation of my feelings and my thoughts. And I think that you are too, Ben, if you're still listening. So thank you for watching, if you are, and thank you everybody else for watching, and be safe. It is real. Hopefully I can post and share his video reinstated if he does reinstate it. But otherwise, he's still a pretty cool guy. Go to his channel and watch his journey. And maybe if he doesn't share that video, you at least know that he's gone through this, because I think it's important. And please be safe, and JaYoe. Bye, guys.
You know, this is the thing about coronavirus, is that we think that statistically, if you're under a certain age, there's no chance anything's going to happen to you. It's such a small percentage, and that's probably true. Maybe it is only a 1% chance that some complications will happen to you. Jesus, I mean, if you're in that 1%, that doesn't make much difference, you know. And I've got a long road ahead of me of recovery. I don't know, it's going to be a few months now. The antibiotics have taken its toll on me. I think they've screwed my teeth up. Like the enamel was peeled off my teeth and stuff. This disease is a fucking killer.